What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. Superheroes are the best. I mean, the capes, the cool monologues, the cool smirk they give after they punch somebody to smithereens. It's just a blast, just a great time all around. But what happens when one of these superheroes has a bad day? I mean, maybe they've been brainwashed. Maybe it's an alternate future where things don't play out well for them. Whatever the case may be, it is always shocking and kind of fun to see what goes down. So here to talk about 10 of those moments, I'm Taylor McWatters, you're you, and here are the top 10 superheroes who became villains. Alrighty, kicking off the list at number 10, Hal Jordan. Okay, so this is one of DC's biggest controversies right off the bat. Green Lantern? Huh, more like Mean Lantern. Okay, so here's the deal. Back in the 90s when they brought our boy Kyle Rayner into the game, the company thought, hey, maybe it'll be a good idea just to make Hal Jordan a villain. Just for a little bit, you know, while we introduce an entirely new character. Sounds great. Then we have Emerald Twilight. And it showed a broken Green Lantern turn into the horrible Parallax, who of course is a popular villain now. But this was all sudden back in the day. I mean, fans didn't like how abrupt and messy it was when it happened. So Green Lantern Rebirth ended up retconning it a decade later. Man, I'm still waiting to see what happens after that Green Lantern after credit scene. There's probably a bunch of people who don't follow comic book movies or like studio rights, and they're probably sitting on their couch like, damn, when is the sequel coming out? I was really looking forward to that. Not coming out, never happening. And before we mosey on over to number 9, if you guys could go ahead and toss us a thumbs up at the bottom right there, it really does help us out a lot here at the studio. Thank you, you guys are amazing. Okay, back to some bad apples. Number 9, Scarlet Witch. No more mutants. I mean, throw a little comma in there and then I agree. Scarlet Witch. Okay, we're all counting down the days until the release of WandaVision because we could finally see an evil Wanda. Again, probably not, but maybe for a little bit, we'll see. She's the daughter of Magneto and the twin brother of Quicksilver, aka Pietro Maximoff. Now, she was on her father's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, but at one point she did join the Avengers. Hero badge, achieved. She's one of the biggest Marvel characters ever, and during the events of M-Day, she spoke those 3 words that I said earlier, and just like that, a mass amount of mutants were depowered or killed. So that large number being 986,618, only leaving a couple hundred left. Let's hope that we see something like this in the new, MCU shows. Maybe she'll do something crazy and that'll bring mutants into the picture, rather than bringing them out of the picture. Number 8, the Maestro. Okay, I know that name sounds cool, but this guy is an absolute nightmare. He is not a conductor of classical music, no. The Maestro in the series Incredible Hulk Future Imperfect is a version of the Hulk that was way more weird than Smart Hulk dabbing. I know, it's close second. Making his first appearance in a vision in the Incredible Hulk Volume 2 issue 401, Maestro was the main antagonist in the Incredible Hulk Future Imperfect storyline. Weird, let me explain. The story takes place about 100 or so years in the future after a nuclear war put the planet close to extinction. Kinda like where we're heading now. This alternate future version of the Hulk Maestro had been absorbing all of this nuclear radiation the entire time and then ended up becoming one of the strongest things on the planet. Obviously. Massive increases in strength and anger plus the brains of Bruce Banner made this guy arguably unstoppable. He also appeared in a not so chill version of the Hulk in the Old Man Logan storyline where him and his cousins have babies. So we'll just say that the spot belongs to Maestro. We're not even going to talk about that version. Yuck. Number 7, Steve Rogers. Okay, there are a couple lines from Steve Rogers that fans will remember from the MCU, like Avengers Assemble, that is America's ass. But the line Hail Hydra was followed by a roar of applause opening night, because not only does he use his post-Avengers knowledge to obtain the scepter, which in that of itself is already a great moment because the audience expects another cool elevator fight, and then Steve outsmarts even us. But the line Hail Hydra also comes right from the comics, in a bit of a darker scenario this time around. So the last words in Captain America Steve Rogers were that of Hail Hydra, and fans went nuts. This was huge news. People were pretty upset. I mean, readers were annoyed that this was only done for shock value. The 2017 series Secret Empire concluded that Bad Cap was a double and the good guy was locked in the Cosmic Cube. That's better. I mean, I guess that's better. Number 6, Superboy Prime. Superboy Prime. Yes, of course, of course. Crisis on Infinite Earths is one of the biggest events to happen in DC history. It literally reshaped the universe. And it all comes down to Superboy Prime. First appearing in DC Comics Presents issue number 87, Superboy Prime is, well, the son of Laura and Jor-El, and after he couldn't save his Earth from destruction, he teamed up with an aging version of Superman from the late Earth 2 and Alexander Luthor Jr. of Earth 3 to fight the Anti-Monitor. Now this is a huge battle. Superboy Prime helped save hundreds and hundreds of lives from tons of planets. He was among other survivors stuck in a universe where he doesn't belong. Kind of feels like me. I just feel like you don't belong somewhere. It's normal. It's a normal thing, guys. So after the battle, Superboy Prime hung out in this peaceful paradise dimension with the other survivors, thanks to Luthor. That is until Superboy Prime gets frustrated of living out these old memories, these sad memories, and then he literally punched reality apart and retconned a lot, including the resurrection of number 5, Jason Todd, aka Red Hood. Making his debut in Detective Comics 168 in The Man Behind the Red Hood, Jason Todd took over the mantle of Robin. Now at this point, Dick Grayson left to become Nightwing. And well, Jason? He has a lot of anger. I mean, once you get beat to death, literally by the Joker, and your mentor, your boy, doesn't avenge your death, sure, anger is a word that I could use for it. Then there's a sweet little link. That's right, so after Batman, A Death in the Family, when Jason is brutally killed by the Joker, he comes back as the bad and badass Red Hood. Now, at this point, he's ruthless. He has much darker ways of getting what he wants. I mean, I don't blame the guy. If the Joker killed me and Bruce left me, I'd kick a few doors in as well. I'd kick all the doors in. Number 4, Jean Grey. Jean Grey is an Omega level mutant born with telekinetic and telepathic powers. Seeing the potential in Jean's strength, the Phoenix Force attached itself to her while she was in danger during a space mission with the Fantastic Four. It's X-Men 101, guys. No, literally, it's Uncanny X-Men issue 101. There it is. And Phoenix has entered the chat. This dark, powerful cosmic force started to change her for the worse. She ended up destroying an entire solar system, yeah, that killed like billions, and took her own life in order to keep the universe safe. Brave, but it's also horrible. A few years later, it was then revealed that it wasn't actually the Jean Grey that had died. No, just the Phoenix as a separate entity that had taken over her mind and all that jazz. Sometimes you just want people back, and we gotta deal with it. Cool. Number 3, Spider-Man. Okay, so back in the 80s, Spider-Man got a new look. How cool. Something fans always love, right? When you just change the look of a character that you've loved forever. Yeah, we go back now to the Amazing Spider-Man 252, where it all began. The rumors are true, says the front page, introducing the new Spider-Man. Yeah, during the Secret Wars arc, this new costume was thrown in to spice things up, and fans didn't like it. Of course, fans hated it. It was later revealed that the costume was actually a symbiote, and that wearing this new slick suit was altering Peter's physical and mental state. Kind of like when a sock falls halfway off when you're wearing a boot. You're all of a sudden just not the same person you used to be, you know? So over time, Peter was getting more and more dark, a little bit more brutal. And that's what happens when you change it up, man. Sorry, not sorry. If you think he's not bad enough to be justified as a villain during this phase, just watch the jazz club scene from Spider-Man 3 again, and we'll talk. Number 2, Bucky Barnes. 2005 was a wild time. I talked about Red Hood already on this list, but Marvel had their own type of badass come back from the dead as well. In 2005, Bucky Barnes returned, but of course he wasn't the same. So near the end of World War II, Bucky and Cap were trying to disarm a bomb on a plane whilst taking down Baron Zemo. Pretty cool, fun times. Now the bomb went off. Ugh, not good. Hurling Steve and Bucky into the freezing waters. And as for Cap, I mean, we kind of saw his life, we know what happens. He came out of this pretty easy. He remained frozen, just hanging out, had a good time. Bucky though, good old trusty sidekick Buck, wasn't so lucky. His body fell into the freezing waters, and at the time, a Soviet spy submarine was in the area crossing the English Channel. So they scooped him up, fixed the whole left arm situation that he had going on, brainwashed him, and then turned him into a brutal assassin. It's heartbreaking. He has all these incredible abilities that make him a fierce fighter and assassin, but he doesn't remember how he knows these things. making him a deadly sleeper agent and now a terrifying villain. This is Steve's right-hand man. I mean, one of the biggest turning points of Marvel was the introduction of the Winter Soldier. This was a conflict that came to life on the big screen back in 2014, and we're still watching Bucky try and sort this out even today. Not an easy road for the guy. Poor Buck. And finally, number 1, Hawkeye. This one was quite controversial when it went down. Okay, so the introduction of the Infinity Stones were pretty sweet. We see Captain Marvel, Quicksilver, Wanda, all these heroes getting their powers from these stones. But in Joss Whedon's 2012 Avengers, we see these stones make someone a villain. Yeah, we see Hawkeye finally take center stage as a villain. I mean, so before the opening title card, we see Loki return, and he takes Clint Barton's mind for his own use. Bam! That Hawkeye is the whole reason that the Avengers got their ass kicked on the helicarrier. He was a staple when it came to intel on the Avengers. It was pretty cool to see a dark version of Hawkeye appear yet again as Ronin in the last Avengers. Without the Mind Stone, he's still able to tap into the pain of losing his family. But cutting throats and taking names? I mean, maybe try one of Steve's therapy group sessions? Rough go, that dude. What a rough go. Well guys, there you have it. Now we know there's a ton of villains who turn into heroes over time that we missed, so let us know your favorites down below and we'll add them in for a cheeky little part 2, probably. I've been your host, Taylor McWatters. Thank you for tuning in with us. Stay safe, and we'll catch you at the next one. Peace.